I recently reacted to a video from The Escapist on my React channel where the idea of do anything games make no sense. A large part of the conversation was about the lack of gameplay loops, so I posed this question. What is the core gameplay loop of Star Citizen? Name it now, you can't, it doesn't exist, nobody knows what it is. And in the comments, I got a lot of pushback, and I really couldn't understand why. I know some people are super invested in the game with time, money, and emotion, but this felt different. I was starting to think I was completely wrong. And I was. Sort of. What I misunderstood was what a core loop for a game actually is. And to be honest, I'm still asking questions and trying to fully understand it, and I'm getting a lot of different answers from some of the game developers that I've talked to. I'm not a game developer, and no, I don't pretend to be one on YouTube either. I just want to play a good game, and it's really hard to see Star Citizen so close, yet miles away from that experience I yearn for. So what is a core gameplay loop? Google wasn't the best, so I did what everyone else is doing these days. I asked ChatGPT. And I think it did a pretty good job. I think the big point is that the actions cycle back, and the entire point of this loop is to be engaging enough to keep players coming back and playing more. Now, the issue here is I felt a lot of the comments I read were trying to state that sandbox games don't have a core gameplay loop. But I think they lacked understanding about game design just as much as I do. So I asked ChatGPT another question. And of course, sandbox games do have a core gameplay loop. Minecraft is the sandbox game, and the core loop there is clearly its crafting and building. And as you improve, you take on more difficult challenges, eventually defeating the Ender Dragon, if you feel like it. But at its core, Minecraft is a crafting game. So armed with a little bit more knowledge, let's try and pose that same question, but for Star Citizen. Now, after the Minecraft example, it feels a lot easier to tackle this question for Star Citizen, but not really. Star Citizen used to be easy to define when their Kickstarter launched because, while still ambitious, their goals were much more grounded than they are today. Ship sales were not intended to last 10 years, selling well over 100 different ships to players. Back then, Star Citizen's core loop could have been a first-person exploration in both ships and on foot, where you do missions or industrial things like mine and cargo haul, and make money and upgrade or buy a new ship. Starter packages were an actual thing back then. Now people purchase anything with cash without ever earning it in-game, and without needing to participate in any loop. In my research on what a core loop is, I came across this image, where the issue with Star Citizen today makes a lot more sense. This is the loop of nearly every game in existence. You absolutely play the game to get things and use those things to upgrade your ships. But if many players don't have to play or get, and they just skip to the upgrade, where is the reward that keeps the players coming back to play your game? It's an alpha couldn't be more of an annoying comment anytime you're talking about the project or a specific feature of this game. But it also couldn't be more true. As I researched game design over the last few days, I saw a common theme about how games are built from the start. They start with an idea, and immediately after, you must prototype that idea to see if it's fun by gathering feedback. This is exactly what Star Citizen has been doing for years. They have a lot of ideas around this game and how it should play, but they have no idea how fun it will be yet. And this is exactly why I argue that the game does not currently have a core gameplay loop. It sort of is there. You can play, you can get things, and you can upgrade in many ways, but most of it is either not interconnected or it isn't very fun. Hell, ships are going to fly and engage in combat in an entirely different way at some point in the near future with master modes, a result of that feedback loop. And ship/flight combat certainly is at Star Citizen's core. Many commenters dismissed my arguments for better gameplay loops simply because Star Citizen is a sandbox game. But as we addressed earlier, sandbox games do not lack a core gameplay loop. I think those players need to realize that engaging in Star Citizen's economy or deciding if jumping to that system is worth the risk or whatever they're trying to get, or if that upgrade is worth the money, is engaging with the core gameplay loop. Just because you have a lot of agency on how much or how little you want to engage with gameplay like mining doesn't mean that resource gathering is not going to be one of the key features of Star Citizen's identity. And that about does it for me. I've thought it through the best I can, and I still come to the conclusion that we don't know what the core gameplay of Star Citizen will be. We know it will involve spaceships, but the rest is still really up in the air. After 10 years, we still don't know what Star Citizen really is, and that's not a good thing. Reputation is non-existent and doesn't touch any other systems. The economy has yet to scratch the surface of what it's intended to be, and those two features, they're going to be major parts of that play, get, and upgrade cycle. And until we get those in a place that is fun, we really have nothing. And until then, we'll just be chasing the next carrot on a stick technology that is supposed to get us to a place where they can make those features fun, like server meshing. I hope you guys enjoyed me just talking about a random subject that was just bothering me. So I decided to learn a little bit more and share what I learned with you. What do you think about all this? Leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think. And like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe for more. And I will see you guys all in the next video.